Once again, you can get this in the law book, the UNA beginner law book. The vibratory frequency is very, very powerful. Remember, we talked about this. At some point, we're going to remove everything down here. All this can go. But if you're operating down here in this level, you are not operating in your right mind. We operate up here. I'm going to give you an example of something that I had in one of my classes. I had somebody telling me about how her boss, she's like, I don't like my job, and my boss, she don't even know how to do what I do. She doesn't have a license. And so she's trying to keep me down, and she made me have to go and learn and do research and learn how to do this. Now she's trying to make me train the people who come in, and she's trying to keep demoting me. Okay, pay attention now. She's upset and angry. She's down here in a lower vibratory frequency, and some of you all may have experienced that. When you having an experience and you operating down here in a lower vibratory frequency, she all upset and she jealous because these people not getting what I get, and they don't know what I know, and I'm the more intelligent, and she don't even have the thing, and she my boss. She operating down here. But I had to tell her, you got to flip the script because she's not paying attention to her power. This woman made you go and learn some information on your own, and you went and learned it, and now you are proficient. Now she's trying to get you to teach or train these other people. When you operating up here in acceptance and reason and willingness, okay, you operating in a different frequency now, because now you can say, okay, wait a minute, I have this knowledge, I have this power, I have this ability, and you need me to do this. So here's what's going to happen. For every person I train, you're going to pay me this much money. For every one that comes in that I train, you're going to pay me this. Otherwise, I won't be training anybody, and I'm going to have to leave. And without me, you can't get these jobs done because you don't have a license. If you want to contract with the state and all these other people, you got to have a license. I have that. So then I understand what my value is, and I'm going to put this in writing that I will be glad to train these people. That needs to be an additional $700 or whatever your training fee is. Don't look at it from a lower vibratory frequency. No, we gotta come up here, because when we change our mindset, we can flip the script. You can't do that when you're angry. You can't do that when you're jealous. Never be afraid to exit. Leave. When you're afraid, you down here in fear. Fear right here. Again, if you operating down here, you're operating in a lower vibratory frequency. You can't even manifest anything of the good. But when you up here, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, it's a different story. They're going to treat you differently. I'm going to give you an example of people who operate in a lower vibratory frequency, and they just can't win. And I know this is going to be controversial, but y'all can bite these nuts, these spicy nuts, if you don't like it. But I need y'all to pay attention. Y'all know they got this whole WNBA thing with Caitlyn Clark. And this is an Albion woman, for those of y'all who might not be aware, coming from college, Iowa. And she goes into the WNBA, and she took a load of fans with her. Because this is a woman who, in college, I had never heard of this. In college, this woman, they had a preseason game, a preseason women's basketball game in a football stadium, and it sold out. They had a preseason women's basketball game in a football stadium, and it sold out. I never seen that. I've never heard of that. But at any rate, she has a lot of fans following her into the WNBA. So she gets to the WNBA, and these people are giving her hell. They mistreating her. They coming down on her or what have you, and just saying a whole bunch of negative. They just like her because she white. Okay. Jealousy, apathy, anger. They operating down here. she comes in and they're not recognizing that she is bringing all of them money. Her name, the one who I'm talking about, Caitlyn Clark. Then there's expected MVP for this season, A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson is expected to get the MVP, and she's well known as one of the best players in the WNBA. But she didn't get the eyeballs that she was getting until Caitlyn Clark came in. Instead of recognizing this woman as, oh, she's bringing more eyes to me, now I can sell more, it's this hate. Not to say that A'ja Wilson is hating, and she was, but not to say that she was, but she was. And it wasn't just her. It's a lot of these women in the WNBA, they operate in a lower vibratory frequency. Instead of recognizing that this woman get ready to lift this sinking ship, it's hate. Because I tell you what, if I was an A'ja Wilson, I would have welcomed Caitlyn Clark with open arms. And then what happens with your shoe deal? She's upset because Caitlyn Clark is about to get a shoe deal before she got a shoe deal. But guess what? Caitlyn Clark's gonna sell out. Well, why not welcome her? Again, you can't do that if you're operating down here. For me, it wouldn't be me in the WNBA and Caitlyn Clark came in and I not make money. That'd be my best friend. We'd plaster everybody, hey, this is my friend Caitlyn Clark. Operate in a different mentality, because just being her friend lifts everything. This woman has lifted the WNBA to a point where the media rights deal had to be renegotiated because the boom that they getting, it had to be renegotiated because of the boom that the WNBA is getting. I need y'all to understand, by the way, I wasn't going to go into this, but I'm going to go into it real quick now. The tides are changing. There's a changing of the guard. And I know y'all thinking WNBA will never be, well, clearly y'all not seeing the tide changing. Because at some point, the NBA was not all that either. The NBA had a hard time before Magic Johnson and Larry Bird came in. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird came in, that's when the NBA got a boost. Well, Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And if you don't see the boom, that's why they had to renegotiate on this media rights deal, plus all these other people that's about to come out of college. Yeah, there's a changing of the guard. All of this is just spiritual. All of it is. I know you don't get it, but I told you there's a shift. There's a shift. The same way all of these large businesses and corporations, Xerox and all these large corporations that were number one at the top of the charts, Fortune 500 companies, they have fallen. Why? Because there's a changing of the guard, changing. So what I'm saying to you is note the change, because it's happening in your face. Again, when you know these laws, it becomes very clear. When you know the laws, it becomes very clear. There's a changing of the guard. Didn't I tell y'all who's running the game? All these sports organizations, NFL, NBA, MLB, all of these major league sports organizations, who runs those? Those people at the top, they know these laws. Pay attention. Even when you're talking about the Masons, when you're talking about the Masons, they learn the 7 Hermetic principles. That's the first thing they're learning. Why? Because this is the basis of this dimension that we're in. They know this. They know that there's going to be a change, and the change is happening in your face. So at some point, yeah, the women's league, women's sports period is going to take over. There's a changing of the guard. Pay attention. You know who they are. They know these laws. And so this is why they would renegotiate. Because, oh, we're going to make some money. Oh, this league is getting ready to switch it up. These laws.